On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Majorly blame this dude. Blue slips are the reason we're having the problems in the courts we're having. Blue slips are the reason why we've got sanctuary cities not following the laws. Chuck Grassley is single-handedly responsible for holding the blue slips in place. Either Chuck Grassley needs to change his mind, or we need to change Chuck Grassley. That's it. That's all that's left at this point. This guy is the problem. Chuck, you need to stop, buddy. You need to get on the right page. You need to get on the constitutional page, and you need to stop supporting this lawlessness. It's causing lives, and frankly, well, the Civil War they've been wanting looks like it's spinning up. Definitely looks like it's spinning up. They're intentionally trying to get people to come out and cause problems with weapons because they want people shot. And they figure martyrs are going to help their cause. Now, it's not. It's actually going to work the opposite direction. But this is what they're trying to do. Got a major problems going on in Minneapolis, and it's likely going to spill over. And we're seeing some places being a little more precautionary versus others. Got a lot to talk about. Let's get ball rolling. Wanted to start here because it's kind of a good reminder. I think it's one of the single largest problems we have. And when I saw this post by Dan Coe, I was like, yeah, this dude's, he's seeing the same thing. He's worried about the same thing I am. Literally, this is probably the biggest concern I have, hands down. And here's his post. The best thing you can do in today's world is practice thinking. Very few people, especially smart people, do this. Snap yourself out of your automatic patterns and stretch your mind for once. This will only become more important as AI and social media distort reality. One of the easy ways to practice that, by the way, is when we see something and they're telling us what to think, because that's what always happens. They tell you what to think, they tell you how to feel, okay? So most of us just immediately do that, and then we take what they say as fact, and then we just, oh, this is what's up. Best thing you can do, try to think of some of the other reasons, some of the other possibilities, some of the other likelihoods. They might not be right, but you're stretching your mind. You're trying to understand the problem. You're not just taking the problem that's being presented or created in some cases, and then the solution that they're presenting. That is somebody that's trying to push you into a hole. Now, maybe that solution makes sense. Maybe that solution, rather than just the solution, maybe being part of a larger group of things that would solve the problem. But oftentimes they don't want that group of things. They just want you to get, well, we're going to give you this one little thing, and then hopefully you'll go away and be quiet. We are being manipulated by influencers. We are being manipulated by AI, and we are certainly being manipulated by, saying the media is kind of redundant because that's basically influencers. So many people think the media is going to change. It's not ever going to change. The current media, mainstream media, will not change. It is there for the reason it is there, to control. We are the new media. They're not going to change. The sooner we figure that out, the better. We'll see how long it takes. Hilarious. Had to do this one. Couldn't resist before we get into serious stuff. And I just wanted to slam on Gavin a little more before I start slamming on Grassley, even though I've already kind of beat up on him. But this is the new Sparkle Beach Barbie. And of course, it's the Gavin Newsom doll. What's super funny is chairs sold separately, but the chair's got its legs crossed like Gavin Newsom does in that gay kind of way where because he doesn't have any testicles or anything down there to get in the way, right? No penis, no testicles. It's just got a vagina, so he can cross his legs really close together. It's like the one thing I hear a lot of women complain about with dudes. You didn't have their legs apart. Like you got that much stuff down there. I don't know. We got more stuff there than you do. That's for sure. And yeah, when you can cross your legs like that and not be uncomfortable, yeah, you don't have testicles. Something. I tell you, I can sit like that for a short period of time, but yeah, you're And it's not comfortable. It's actually not comfortable crossing the other way, too, because I end up just putting part of my leg asleep. So, frankly, I don't like crossing my legs. I think it's actually an unhealthy practice. I think you get blood clots and all sorts of crazy shit, but whatever. Sparkle Beach Gavin. I'm just super pissed off at Grassley. Used to love this dude. Used to love this guy. Sweet old man. But I was lucky enough to find some great pictures of him making frowny faces and ugly faces, which I kind of liked, and I found the great one that I used for my thumbnail. Where'd you go? This one. Yeah, right here. Arr, arr. Love it. This guy's the problem. Grassley, you are the problem. And we, just so you know, get it amongst the other 97 of you in the Senate that will never serve office again. You'll be lucky if you finish your term. And I don't mean that in any sort of way other than we will impeach, we will Brunson your ass out. We're going to get you out one way or another. Grassley, you have literally one option available to you to save yourself. Get rid of the blue slips. Get rid of the blue slips. Let us start to clean up our country. Otherwise, you are the problem, Mr. Corn on the Cob. And again, put another cob up your butt. That's what frankly needs to happen. Donald Trump truth this out. I've just approved emergency declarations for Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, Maryland, Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Indiana, and West Virginia. We are working closely with FEMA, governors, and state emergency management teams to ensure the safety of people, or everybody. Stay safe. Be careful. Tennessee's supposedly getting a pretty bad experience with this. I will say when I lived in East Tennessee, we definitely could not handle snow out there at all. And freezing was always problematic nonetheless. Yeah, just a little bit of ice, man. Ice is a nasty, nasty thing. We got 800,000 people without power. Over 10,000 flights have been canceled with this major storm. I've heard some people trying to downplay it a little bit. I don't know if that's a fair thing. I think this is a pretty severe storm. Again, we'll see what the overall death toll is. It seems like we had plenty of notice that it was coming, so it's not like it surprised us, thank God. But at the same time, some people just don't handle stuff like this well, or aren't prepared, or don't get prepared, or don't even know what it means to be prepared. I don't know. We tried really hard to help. Hopefully, we fare well on this one. West Virginia lawmakers, they're trying their third time to amend the state constitution to mandate citizen-only voting. The third consecutive session, this resolution would amend the state constitution to ensure only United States citizens vote in West Virginia elections, and it has been introduced into the state legislature. House Joint Resolution 18 and Senate Joint Resolution 9. Cool numbers, by the way. Both were introduced Wednesday. Let's get the right thing done, West Virginia. If you're a West Virginian, make some noise, man. We need to get that one pushed over. Former sports reporter Michelle Tafoya, she joins Minnesota GOP primary for Senate. She thinks Minnesota's in crisis. She would be right, that's for sure. She is going to try to get in there and replace out one of the Democratic senators, Tina Smith. Hopefully she can do that, because as we all know, Minnesota is a freaking mess. California gubernatorial Republican candidates. This guy is leading the case. I always forget his name. I don't know why. It's the dude, Bianco. There it is. Riverside Sheriff. Super cool dude. I like this guy. Every place I've ever seen him talk, every place, anything. He's actually doing really well. And it's not uncommon for California to have a Republican governor. Now, we had Schwarzenegger, and we've had a couple. But generally speaking, they just still do the same shitty stuff. So it's not anything surprising. I don't think that would be the case with Bianco. But Chad right now is sitting on top of the heap. Steve Hilton sitting just below him. And then below them are the Democrats. So cool. I mean, again, it's way too early to tell. No offense. At this moment, I am not fond of Steve Hilton. I'm just going to say it. I don't like him. One, he's British. No offense. But yeah, I don't necessarily want a Brit running the state. No offense. I just don't. No offense, dude. Sorry. You're part of the Hilton chain. That freaks me out a little bit too. You've been on Fox News for a long time. That's a deep state organization. You just got a lot of strikes against you. Chad Bianco, he's been a sheriff. He's proven himself. He's been working for the people for a long time. So frankly, I hope we can push Bianco over. I think he's a much better choice. I'd love to see Trump chime in at some point. We'll see if he ever does. Luna is one of the ones, man. I don't know. I want to like her. I do, and I still do. But she is so she's so Marjorie Taylor Greene in her approach. And I think it's kind of a chick thing. No offense. I just kind of think, that's I don't know what it is. There's this weird forcefulness, like you got to do this or else. And so she's vowing to shut down the House if the Senate doesn't vote on the SAVE Act. Now, I love where her mind's at. I love where her heart's at. I love the fact that she's involved in the UFO stuff. Again, I want to like her. She just does stuff like this is strange. Like you're going to shut down the House because the Senate's ineffective. First off, that's not really your job. Second off, you're not really handling your constituents the way you should be. By shutting down the House because the Senate's worthless, you're making the House worthless now. You are the same problem. Luna, stop it. Like, get shit done. You guys got all your budget stuff passed through. I'm proud of you. But stop this stupid nonsense of trying to force people into their, like, you must do this or else I'll make it difficult. That's not helping. That's why I mean by, like, you're being Marjorie Taylor Greene right now. You're doing stuff that's not helpful. Stop. Be helpful. Try to help. We've obviously got a lot of uniparty people in this party. I don't know, start calling them out maybe. Start calling out your own constituents rather than trying to force the Senate. The Senate is worthless. You're not going to fix that. You're not going to fix that. There's not one senator that gives a shit what you think, Luna. Seriously, there's not one senator that cares what you think. You can shut down the House. I don't know. Tell her to shut down. I don't give a shit. So stop being stupid, please. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. That's for sure. That's what I want to say. Speaking of blue slips, the judge ordered the release of the Minnesota church agitators Nakima Armstrong and Chantil Allen. Both of them have been released. We got this, though. An Attorney General or Assistant Attorney General, AAG, Harmeet Dillon, whatever the hell AAG stands for. She's basically saying, look, here's the deal. We found an appeals court. They see probable cause to be able to charge journalists on Lemon, but they declined to order lower courts to sign arrest warrants. So it's like, yeah, we see the problem here, but we're not going to make anybody follow the law. We're going to let the lower courts keep you from being able to arrest this. She's saying, stay tuned, Harmeet Dillon. She's essentially letting us know that they got a plan of some kind. Hopefully they will. We'll see. Judge rejects the DOJ's request to detain leftist protesters accused of invading the Minnesota church. So literally you got two judges that have blocked requests from the Department of Justice to detain 3 of the leftist protesters accused of invading the church. U.S. District Judge Laura M. Provenzino, she wrote in her order for the 2 of the protesters, Nakima and Chantil, the Justice Department lawyers failed to demonstrate that a detention hearing is warranted or that detention is otherwise appropriate. The FACE Act, they put a lady in an abortion clinic for this same thing. They put her in jail for 40 years. Again, it's this two-tiered justice. The people that are the brown shirts, that are the political enemy, the deep state army, if you're on that side of the fence, you're allowed to do whatever you want, anything you want. You can even kill people. Doesn't seem to matter. In fact, we got a case where an officer had like this much of his finger bit off. It's a disgusting picture, and there's almost no way to avoid it. I'll try my best to warn you guys when we get there. This is disgusting. He's gonna lose the tip of his finger. But one of the 2 people they arrested literally bit off his finger. At least they spit it out. Didn't swallow it. That would have been interesting. Ugh. Just the thought of that's just ugh. Sorry. I grossed myself out on that one. That normally doesn't happen. Many New Yorkers are furious. I guess apparently Mayor Zohran Mamdani doing some crazy shit. Says illegal aliens will be eligible to receive universal taxpayer-funded childcare. Let's say that one more time. Illegal aliens will be eligible to receive universal taxpayer-funded health care.
Clearly. These are programs for every single New Yorker. These are not programs that are going to ask the immigration status of any one of the children. all of those children are New Yorkers. They should all be enrolled in pre-K and 3K, no matter where they were born or where they come from. And we are also proud to be a sanctuary city. What a sanctuary city means is that we have policies in place, policies that have existed for years in this city, that deny ICE agents access into schools, hospitals, city properties, or even the properties of city contractors, unless those ICE agents can present a judicial warrant signed by a judge. We know that the vast majority of the time, ICE agents are not presenting that kind of documentation. If they're presenting any documentation, it tends to be an administrative warrant, and oftentimes there isn't any documentation even provided. So we want to make clear the rights of every New Yorker that they have, and very clearly.
And yeah, so this is the problem we have. We have judges that won't do what is necessary, and we've got cities and states that think they're above the federal laws and think they can do whatever they want and still, like, thumb their nose at the federal government, but at the same time have their other hand out, palm up, so they can get the freebies. Give us the money that we want. This guy right here, he's a dude that bought like $1 billion. He's bought 1.5% of the annual global supply of silver. Bought 12.69 million ounces. He did this, I think, earlier, several months back. Close to $1 billion in precious metals over 6 months. Here's his reasons. The global monetary system is about to collapse. The Great Reset or Basel Endgame, either or. The biggest credit bubble in history will soon pop. About $300 trillion of credit debt that's, unpayable. There is no way the U.S. can refinance its $28 trillion in maturing treasuries in the next 4 years without an obscene amount of printing. Trump tariffs are hastening the collapse, and it's by design. Gold and silver are only meaningful life draft. Physical possession is everything. The whole world right now is a sophisticated game of musical chairs. The chairs are precious metals. Crypto is a psyop. Those who purchase will have no chair when the music stops. Real estate, crypto, stocks, and bonds will all lose significantly compared to precious metals. The banking system has been meticulously designed to seize your assets to buoy up a collecting banking sector. See the great taking. And you have zero counterparty risks with precious metals. And you really don't. One of the problems they say is when you try to sell them, but it depends on what you get. Now, the bars are a little harder to sell sometimes. In general, they're not considered as pure. The purity is in question oftentimes with the bars. It depends where you got them. Coins that are minted are made with a specific quality. It's mandated in the minting process. They are like trusted when they're minted. So again, it's one of the easier things to offload. The bars are not. Bars are much trickier in the big picture. So all of that said, yeah, we've got an interesting world at play. Silver closed out on Friday, at least the paper silver contracts, closed out at $103.15. Went up $6.77. My expectation Monday, I don't know. Usually they try to bring the price back down, but I do feel the upward surge still because there's a lot of lack of trust right now. I mean, silver went up 7% in one day. Again, likely going to come down Monday, and then we're going to end up ultimately seeing it probably break through 110. And God, I hope it's not as quickly as by Friday, but that's entirely possible. The movement of silver right now is astounding. Remember, it barely broke 80 for a day right before the end of the year? We're already $23 higher than that. We're not even at the end of 1 month. That's, what, a 25% increase? In 1 month? The issues we have, guys, are huge. Problems are coming. They're coming soon. And frankly, I don't know. You don't want to wait. I know supplies are starting to get trickier, starting to get a lot trickier. I'd highly recommend you go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, get out as quickly as you can, or at least divest a bunch out of your, it's the Federal Reserve now. You can say the stock prices are the highest they've ever been. I understand that. But inflation, you've literally in 5 years, you've lost 25% of your buying power, okay? So that amount of stock you got that's been sitting at a pretty good place, Yeah, 25% of the buying power is gone from that dollar amount. I doubt you've grown 25% in 5 years. No. So that means you've lost buying power. Anyone that's got into precious metals, they've gained buying power. That's how it's working, especially with silver. Silver's got a multiplier in it, and it's proven many, many times over the past year that that's exactly what's happening right now. DRSlikesgold.com is going to help you transfer out tax-free, penalty-free. You're going to move the money sideways, as much of it as you can anyways. Tax-free, penalty-free from your 401k or IRA account into a precious metals-backed IRA. It's physical metals. No paper contracts, no BS like that. It's physical metals put into a trust, tax-free, penalty-free. They're also going to offer up to 10% free silver. Up to 10% free silver. That's the multiplier. That's the kicker. You want to get in on that. DRSlikesgold.com, DRSlikesgold.com. 4 data points. It's going to have a little pop-up. I think you got 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever to call. It's like 20, I think. If you can call in 20 minutes, they're going to offer you up this cool little Ronald Reagan coin. It's 0.999% pure silver. It's minted at the U.S. Treasury, and it's got a picture of Ronald Reagan on the front. It's a half-ounce coin, so literally it's worth $51.50 just on its weight. $51.50 just on its weight. It's your gift for being able to help move this ball forward a little more quickly, a little more efficiently, and frankly, with the way things are playing out, that'd be to your benefit as well. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of that system before it's too late, before there's no silver to get, before there's no gold to get. We've already talked about it. It's going to become scarce, more scarce than it already is. That will drive the price even higher. If you need to cash some of it out, you'll be able to find a buyer a lot easier at some points coming in the near future because people will not be able to get their hands on it. And you'll be able to get it probably a lot closer to spot price than maybe right now. The Dem Attorney General, I think this lady's in Arizona. Yeah, the Arizona Attorney General says people can shoot masked ICE agents. Understand your ground laws. She is in a crap ton of trouble because of this. Very likely criminal charges coming her way. It is extraordinarily incorrect to say that. And what she is doing is pushing an insurrection. This is what we're seeing all over. They are pushing the insurrection. Now, there's only a few places I think that are crazy enough right now to do it. Minnesota is definitely one of them. Portland is one of them. I don't know if they could pull it off in LA right now. Maybe, but I doubt it. We'll see. Minnesota's they're gonna pay a heavy price, a very heavy price. And we're gonna see it play out. And I think a lot of this is designed to do exactly what it's doing. Everyone's like expecting Trump to send in the National Guard, Trump to do the Insurrection Act. And Trump's definitely hinted that that will come. But if he does it, they're going to attack the hell out of him. If he doesn't, well, they just got to live in the bed they've made. The mess that's going on. In fact, at some point, they're going to be like, Trump, aren't you going to send in the National Guard? Well, the governor hasn't asked. Don't want to do that. I don't want to get in trouble. You guys want it? Ask. I'll send them in. You guys don't seem to want to federalize the ones that are there? Okay. We'll see what you can do. Meanwhile, ICE agents are going to continue to arrest people. ICE agents are going to continue to look into the fraud. We're going to continue to do what we're doing. Minneapolis shooting sparks explosive blame game between Democrats and, of course, the Trump administration. Not a big surprise. You know, Tim Walz, Fry, I think is how you're supposed to pronounce it. They're definitely blaming the Trump administration. They're definitely fanning the flames. Again, not legal, certainly not good leadership. And yeah, it's what's happening. So the man charged over threats to kill ICE agents and MAGA maggots. By the way, that's pretty cool alliteration. I like that. MAGA maggots. That's awesome. Apparently had a weapons cache. He had a Palestinian flag. It's kind of like, remember how they used to say that we'd have a Nazi flag if it was some like the when they pull the guys out of the U-Haul or whatever the hell, they had a Nazi flag. That was one of the lamest things that are fakest, stupidest, lamest things ever. It was so funny is that they couldn't even make themselves not look like feds. It's like, how can you like, oh, you guys are idiots. Whatever the case is, had a number of firearms, body armor, yada, yada. He was ready to go to town. Oh, Army helmet. Very cool. It helps a little. And yeah. I'd probably stop a 9mm round, maybe. I don't know. Depends where he got it. If it's a legitimate military helmet, it should. I don't think it would stop a rifle round, but meh. So they arrested this dude, Justin Maciel Novoa, 21-year-old of Ohio, and charged him with threatening to assault or murder a federal law enforcement after he threatened to do this on his social media. Always smart to do that. He did it on an account that was anonymous, and so he figured he was safe, because we can get away with this stuff back when Biden was in charge. Yeah, no, they caught him easily. They FBI got in touch with X and basically said, hey, give us the info on this account. He's threatening law enforcement's lives, and X is like, all right, cool, here you go. And they showed up to the dude's house and said, yep, this is your account, right? And he's like, you caught me. Oh, shucks. Yeah, they caught him. Chaos erupts in Minneapolis after Border Patrol shooting as crowds clash with federal agents. So there was a shooting, another shooting, killed the dude. We've got the slow-mo of it, and they say you can see him pull the gun. I can see where maybe it looks like he goes into the front of his waistband area, if you will. But, I mean, then you kind of see it from another angle right after he's killed, and they're trying to give life support, and you don't see the gun, but they probably kicked it out of the way. There was something that got kicked out of the way, but it looked more like a flashlight at one point. Anyway, I've tried to watch this thing a few times. I've had a hard time seeing the gun. Now, we also have this image, which shows the gun on his passenger seat with an extra mag. And they said he had 2 full mags. I'm assuming the other one was in the gun. But was it in the car or was it on him? And then why is it opened like it is right now? What do they call it when you've got it, ready to load, basically? I forget what you call it when you've got it like that. When you pull it back all the way, or even when it locks back all the way because you don't have a clip in it, or mag in it, I should say. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what it's called. Usually just hit the little side switch on the, and it ratchets itself. But yeah, we don't know.
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people,
And this will be disturbing. He is going to be shot here in a second. You don't see blood, but you see him stop moving very quickly. So again, if you've got squeamishness, please do not watch this. This is, it's pretty messed up what's happening. And again, the finger thing, we got a lot of weird messed up shit. Sorry, guys. So again, don't watch it if you're sensitive.
Shit! What the fuck?
Yeah, and then there was multiple shots. I can't imagine that was all at that. I don't know if that was at, I don't know who all the extra shots were at. There's a lot of shots. Now, again, we've got a slow-mo version of this, but it is very hard to see anything. We'll play it, I think, at some point here coming up. In fact, I think it's this X thing right here, possibly. But federal agents unleashing crowd control munitions. This spun out of control very quickly. In fact, after a day, it's gotten even worse. This was yesterday when this happened. It was Saturday. Minneapolis police chief. The deceased man shot by federal agents was a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. Yes, you can carry a firearm, but the second you are involved in an officer anything, that firearm better not get brandished, which is what they claim happened. And 2, you're supposed to let cops know that you've got a firearm if you're being detained. You don't have a lawful, with a permit to carry, you don't have a lawful reason to surprise a cop with it. Cops get to know that you're carrying. Cops get to know if you've got a car underneath your driver's seat, if you've got a gun sitting there. In fact, if you're one of these people that carries in your car, I would keep that in mind, because nowadays cops are going to be a little jumpy. And white, black, brown, you'll get shot. You'll die. Don't do it, okay? I don't think many people are going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Be smart. Tell the cop why you got your hands on the steering wheel so they can see both of them. Be like, I do have a firearm under my driver's seat. And then let them figure out how they want to proceed, okay? Be smart. Do not surprise them. Don't go reaching into glove boxes. Always keep your hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel and let the officers kind of handle. Now, again, sometimes it's wise to get stuff out of your glove box before they show up, but it can look like you're putting stuff away and hiding. But sometimes I've done that just to make sure they don't, get worried when they're standing there. And then it's hands on the steering wheel so they can see. And if they ask me anything, I'll be like, yeah, I was pulling out my license and stuff. And, I got nothing in my car to hide. I don't just let cops search. But I've got nothing to hide. So I at least don't have to worry about anything being found. Here is, Bovino? And he was on with CNN talking about this. And, they are trying to make the individual that got shot out to be the victim. And I think it's pretty cool how Bovino handles that phraseology.
With respect, it feels as though in some ways you're blaming the victim here.
The victims are the Border Patrol agents. I'm not blaming the Border Patrol agents. The victim are the Border Patrol agents. The suspect put himself in that situation. The victims are the Border Patrol agents there.
Yeah, for sure. And that's being played out right now. So again, more gross pictures, okay? Really gross. I mean, it's a dude's finger got bit off, and so you're going to see a couple components of that. Again, if you're squeamish, don't look at this, skip ahead, whatever you want to do. Yeah, dude lost the tip of his finger. This dude with the bangs, what a bad hairdo. Or this dude, this is definitely a dude, one of them bit the finger off. I'm betting on this guy. He's the one that's got that look on his face like he did it. This guy's got some true chompers that could probably pull it off, but he looks like a biter to me. There it is. I know it looks weird to a lot of people. This is the tip of the finger. This is where his normal fingernails, which he obviously kept pretty trimmed, were. This is the back of the nail where it got ripped out. Ouch. God, dude lost part of his finger. Dem congressman admits ICE serves the public interest, begs the leftists to stop their obstruction. This is Jared Golden from Maine, which is good because Maine's going under some issues right now. And it sounds like Maine is well aware. This is why Collins has to be careful. Maine is well aware that this isn't cool. And they're a small little state, reasonably small state. They can't afford this stuff either. So they've got some problems, and really trying to get people to calm down around the police is a better choice. What they're trying to do in Minnesota is to get a federal judge to basically say federal law can't come into this state. That's what I'm kind of expecting to happen. And then when that does happen, I don't know. That's an insurrection, or they just literally lose all funding. And then when the federal judge says you have to fund us, and be like, no, we're not going to. Like, I don't know. This is coming to a head in a big way. Whether or not it goes into a riot, we'll see. I mean, they're going to burn their own city. That's fine. Burn Minneapolis to the ground. I mean, it sucks, but it's a problem. Needs to be fixed. Left-wing NGO transition to targeting critical economic choke points in Minneapolis. So they're now all showing up at airports. 100 people got arrested, I think, Saturday at the airport, blocking streets and all that kind of crap. They all showed up. They've all got these professionally printed signs. They're reasonably sure the same dark money NGOs are funding it. They're, of course, digging into it. Speculations will continue. So, yeah, Indivisible Project is one of them. Open Society Action Fund, Inc., Ted's Advocacy, Ted's Foundation, Inadvisable Civics. I can't read that one. Indivisible Civics, maybe? Probably Indivisible. Scott Bessent tells me that the Trump administration will launch investigations into these left-wing... Yeah, we've already played that before. Trump fires back at Fry. So the mayor and governor are inciting insurrection. He's 100% right. He does, I do have the truth here, I believe. He said, this is the gunman's gun, loaded with 2 additional full magazines and ready to go. What is that all about? Where are the local police? Why weren't they allowed to protest ICE officers? The mayor and the governor called them off. It is stated that many of these police were not allowed to do their job, that ICE had to protect themselves. Not an easy thing to do. Why does Ilhan Omar have $34 million in her account? And where are the tens of billions of dollars that have been stolen from the once great state of Minnesota? We are there because of massive monetary fraud, with billions of dollars missing and illegal criminals that were allowed to infiltrate the state through the Democrats' open border policy. We want the money back, and we want it back now. Those fraudsters who stole the money are going to jail. where they belong. This is no different than a really big bank robbery. Much of what you are witnessing is a cover-up for this theft and fraud. The mayor and the governor are inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and arrogant rhetoric. Instead, these sanctimonious political fools should be looking for the billions of dollars that has been stolen from the people of Minnesota and the United States of America. Let our ICE patriots do their job. 12,000 illegal alien criminals, many of them violent, have been arrested and taken out of Minnesota. If they were still there, you would see something far worse than what you're witnessing today. And that is a huge point. We are seeing that many of the worst have been removed. They know who the instigators were and are, and they've pulled them out. You see, this insurrection thing's not going the way they needed it to. Them, Deep State, needed it too. And right now, we can just sit back and kind of let them look horrible. We're enforcing laws in a place that has stolen billions of dollars from the federal government, federal taxpayers, and we want to look into it. And they're trying to stop it. And they've got judges that are helping them stop it. Blue slip Grassley, you fucker, you better change your minds. Swear to God, man. Or I hope you fall on a corn on the cob, dude. And I hope that thing goes all the way up into your brain. Shutdown risks rise after fatal Minneapolis shooting. Yeah, they're threatening to shut down the government now. Cool. I mean, I hope they do. I hope Chuck Schumer does. Again, the House has gotten everything pushed through. The House did a good job. We got Luna being a fucking retard, but whatever. Got the House pushed everything through. Won't be the House's fault again. Remember, this is all supposed to fall in the Senate because the Senate is fucking worthless. Grassley, a pile of shit. Better change your mind, dude. You better change your mind. It would be advisable for your political career. If not, I hope all the dirty shit you've ever done comes out, man. All of it. Oh, all of it. Can't wait. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Schumer. If he's still, I think they're sacrificing him, and I think he knows it. His political future is so grim. They hate him anyways. So they're probably going to have him do another ineffectual shutdown so they can blame him, and then no one will vote for Schumer ever again. So Schumer's being sacrificed, but I don't think it's going to matter in the big picture. We'll see what they're capable of doing. Minneapolis starting to look like a war zone. This is because of all the nonsense, of course.
We just have a few moments here, but it seems to be some smoke is rising. I don't know if these are smoke bombs. It was peaceful when we began to talk, and we noted that rhetoric really matters now, and calming tensions really matters. What are we seeing on our screens now? What's your analysis of this?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to keep things calm and, diffuse the tension. Again, Kaylee, this is not what agents ever want to have happen. It's insulting to hear this governor make it seem like, this is the wild, wild west and this is what they want to be doing. This is not what they want to be doing. They are literally enforcing the laws. These are targeted interactions. These are targeted operations. They are simply doing their job. And again, without the details of who this subject is, whether they were someone that they were arresting, whether they were a bystander or protester, frankly, when you're looking at the deadly force policies, that's completely irrelevant. For them, they are literally looking at what we've gone over and over before. But my piece of advice to anyone in Minneapolis and frankly anywhere in the country, let the law enforcement do their job. If you don't want to run into problems, stay out of the...
Yeah, don't do stupid stuff and you won't end up dead. But do stupid stuff and yeah, you may be maybe a martyr if you're lucky. I doubt it. We got a leftist autonomous zone is being created last night. There you go. That's how they roll there in Minnesota as they take over their entire ICE facility or their streets again. Got the National Guard. These are the state-run National Guard. I'm assuming they're hoping to make it look like they're trying to stop the problem. I'll be curious to see if they attack these National Guards people, right? Because they're state run. So this will be curious to see how organized Waltz and Fry are with the actual infiltrators or instigators or insurrectionists or whatever we want to call them. I'm going to be very curious to see how much control. Because if that's the case, they're going to try to make it look like everything's groovy now that the National Guard's there. Now, granted, the ICE agents are going to continue to come in and do what they're doing, which is ultimately going to stir the pot even further. Kind of funny. This is in Maine. It's just one example of where cops know what's going on, and they're dealing with protesters. And what's funny is it's like, look, if you're out and you're harassing ICE agents, especially while they're doing their job, yeah, you're going to end up in a database, whether you like it or not. Whether you think you're being legal or not, you're still going to end up in a database. I'm in databases. Come on. This is because of what I was doing during the Obama year or the Biden years. Same thing.
What you guys are doing here? Yeah. Look at them. Look at them. The ICC guys, be careful. Be careful. Be over here.
It's not illegal to record.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
We're videotaping you? Are you crazy?
Sweetheart, yeah, you're in a criminal database now. So, yeah, guess what? That's what happens. Again, what I was doing, I ended up in a database like that. It's okay. It happens. But, again, I don't agree with what they're doing. Senator Lindsey Graham is drawing up legislation with the White House to abolish sanctuary cities for illegal aliens once and for all in a federal statute, making it impossible for them to ever exist. They shouldn't be able to exist anyway. Again, if we enforce the laws that exist on the books already, there wouldn't be a sanctuary city. There wouldn't be a reason for it. So this, again, is Lindsey Graham trying to get his name and good graces amongst the MAGA community. That's what this is. Again, until he does something really abnormally good, I'm going to continue to assume Lindsey Graham, Warhawk, definitely involved in a lot of the money that's moved back and forth to Ukraine. Guarantee this dude's made money off that stuff. Guarantee it. So, yeah, he's trying to get in good graces. We'll see how much luck he has there. And this is awesome. This is a Florida sheriff reminding people, if you do any of that crazy nonsense in Minnesota down here, well, it's not going to go the same.
Resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Graveyard dead. Uh-oh. Please be okay. Sweet. God, that scares me when it does that. Oh, Lord have mercy. You guys can't see it, but oh yeah, one of my screens goes black, and that's like, normally if it shuts down, it'll say shutting down, like I'll see it, like problem, something, and it shuts down, so. Scared me. All right, blue wave destruction, and it's truly what's happening. Dr. Oz and Jim O'Neill, they find a former linen factory that's transformed into 400 Medicaid businesses in Minnesota. That just gets worse and worse, doesn't it?
Behind me is the Griggs Midway building. It looks like a factory because it was a factory, a linen factory. They made cloth back there, converted to an office building. You'll notice all those little signs there, and there's tons of little businesses inside. Roughly 400 Medicaid businesses were started in the building behind me over the last several years. They generated about $380 million of billing that you, the taxpayer, were putting up. That means roughly each business had $1 million of billing. It's an industrial area. There's no reason that you'd have a mother bring her child there. You can't imagine getting extra business support. An autistic child probably wouldn't want to come here. You hear the noise. It's just not a hospitable place. The question is, how is it possible 400 businesses billing almost $400 million were able to thrive here? What did the owner of the business, this building, think was happening inside? Why did no one in the state figure out this was a concern? And perplexingly to me, in a place of this nature, an industrial complex that people would not come to for childcare or autism care or transportation support. How is it possible this could come up like an abscess in the heart of Minneapolis and nobody was watching? I think it's because they weren't looking. They didn't want to know that this problem was happening here. And it's very concerning to me that only now, when there's more federal supervision, are people beginning to ask the tough questions. So you'll notice there's already a watch group that's observing us. They have people in cars taking pictures of us. They're calling around trying to find out what's going down. And they don't have to, wonder. We're telling you, we're here to figure out why these folks are being defrauded, why the people who live in Minnesota aren't getting access to the care they deserve because it's been stolen. But the fact that you've got people behind me in cars concerned that we're even talking about this story should be something that worries you. It bothers me. There's been a censoring of truth, an inability just to own what's happening in their state. That's concerning to me. They talk about being nice in Minnesota. I want to be nice too, but a person who's a good person doesn't have to always be nice. They got to be truthful and be honest. And sometimes you got to tell people stories they don't want to hear. That's what doctors do, and that's what we're going to do here in Minnesota. Tell you the truth.
I mean, the video is fantastic.
Behind me is
all the stuff he's talking about is fantastic. There's a couple things that are very weird to me. First off, who the fuck is this Conan O'Brien looking motherfucker? Like, who is this dude? Who is this 18-foot tall fucking human with red hair hanging out? Is this his bodyguard? I mean, okay, maybe. It might be. He doesn't look like a bodyguard, but he's intimidating enough. Could be. And then, who's this chick? Who's this chick walking with him? Like, this is one of the weirder kind of videos. Again, Dr. Oz, like, yeah, I'm not trying to, that's just strange. Again, the point of the story is all the bullshit he was talking about, not the weird random shit that I was tripping on. Fucking Conan O'Brien. What is up? Is that Jim O'Neill? Is that who that is? I guess. Must be Jim O'Neill. A.K.A. Conan O'Brien. Man. Duffy's nuclear option remains on the table. The transportation secretary? Yeah, as far as California and the commercial driver's licenses and fixing the problem, well, they refused to fix the problem, and he's basically saying, look, the next step we've got in this is to literally remove your ability to issue commercial driver's licenses, which would be catastrophic for California. Thank God. I hope he does it, frankly. We could use it. Gavin Newsom announces California will remain in the World Health Organization despite the U.S. withdrawal. This dude is such a deep state bastard. And again, it's going to become obvious to everyone else. I mean, I saw what was her name? A chick that was in topless in Swordfish. Holly Berry. Anyway, Holly, and she was also in the Matrix movies. I should remember that. She just wasn't topless, so it really stands out in that first one. But yes, she's like anti-Gavin Newsom, big time. So a lot of these people are starting to come out against him specifically. It's actually okay to hate Gavin Newsom. You can't like Trump. No, that's not okay. But you can dislike Gavin Newsom all day long. It's fantastic. Virginia, their Democrats are going into a crazy tax thing. They just hired in or elected a progressive socialist communist governor. Name's Abigail Spanberger. She's now, since she's in control of the governor's mansion, she's already started to, fulfill the stereotype, the worst stereotypes of Dems. She introduced an array of new taxes on every aspect of life. She's moved to take control of Virginia universities and colleges after years of trying to move those schools to the center. Isn't that tyranny? Members are now pushing rent control legislation and defining landlords as gougers if they raise rents by 3% or more, which means no one's going to rent properties and likely will try to sell them, but this is going to destroy the property values. Spanberger also announced that the state's going to rejoin the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, a regional cap and trade program that imposes a de facto carbon tax, which is probably not even legal. And I'm curious how, I guess their own state franchise tax board or whatever they call it is likely going to be able to do whatever the hell they want. Virginia Democrats appear to be replicating California's disastrous tax policies that have chased high earners out. They've got HB 378, imposes a 3.8% net investment income tax on individuals, trusts, and estates beginning in taxable year 2027. This would raise the state's top marginal income tax rate on portfolio and passive income to 9.55% in addition to federal taxes. Also, HB 900 imposing sales tax hikes on transportation districts, as well as new tax on every retail delivery in Northern Virginia. So anything Amazon, Uber Eats, FedEx, any of that crap, you got to pay a tax on that. HB 919 imposes a firearm and ammunition tax equal to 11% of the gross receipt. That can't be legal. And HB 978 extends the retail sales and use tax to dry cleaning, landscaping, and other previously exempt services. They're going to tax everything. Essentially, they're going to ruin the state. So there you go. Yeah, it's kind of a funny Virginia where they're just treading sic semper tyrannus. Yeah, it's not looking good for them at all. Michigan Republicans oppose Supreme Court proposal limiting immigrants' arrests. The Michigan House Republicans, they sent a letter criticizing this Michigan Supreme Court Chief Justice Megan Kavanaugh that would limit certain immigration arrests inside the state court buildings. State Rep. Bradley Slag, a Republican from Zeeland and chair of the House Corrections and Judiciary Budget Subcommittee, is leading the charge. He said this misguided proposal seems to contradict the very purpose of the court buildings themselves, which is to provide a place where laws are enforced and justice is served. And while they're trying to block that, and they're fighting it. We'll see. Yeah, judges are not lawmakers, he said. For your court to propose that federal immigration laws, which have been properly passed by Congress and signed into law by past presidents, both Republican and Democrats, not be applied in Michigan courthouse threatens to undermine the uniformity of our system of immigration. So again, we've got blue slip laws that are breaking things. Grassley, I can't see you anymore. You're gone, you bastard. You're gonna be gone. He's a pile of trash. I don't think I'm gonna forgive him. He has to do some major stuff. It's kind of funny. Here's a great little meme that was put out. So we've got 500 migrant children go missing under Joe Biden. And, of course, Democrats are like blind people, silent. No, it's your problem. There's no problem at all. You get one child in ICE custody after fugitive dad abandons him. You know the 5-year-old story? And everybody and their mother's staring at that one, right? Don't give a shit about the 500,000 missing kids, but that one that was in custody, or the cages that Obama made. You guys remember when Trump was utilizing the same facilities that Obama had and blaming him for it? Again, it's the same hypocrisy. It's part of the joy that we're going through. DHS says Mahmoud Khalil may be sent to Algeria. I'm sure a judge is going to try to stop this. This guy's been, like 2 or 3 different judges have gotten involved in this case. So now they're threatening to send him to Algeria, which is supposedly his nation of origin, or one of them. He was, I think he was born in Algeria and then lived in Syria or something along those lines, whatever the case is. I don't really care. Care less if I get a postcard from him, and I'm certainly not going to send him one myself. That's for damn sure. Obama's fingerprints kind of all over this investigation into Trump and Clinton and all this stuff. Basically, it's going to lead back into him. And Attorney General Pam Bondi just said prosecutors are investigating, among other things, possible coordination between the Clinton campaign and the Obama administration to interfere with the 2016 presidential election. Jason Redding Quinones, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, he impaneled a grand jury to hear evidence related to an alleged grand criminal conspiracy by Obama and Biden officials to enlist law enforcement and intelligence agencies in rigging elections and carrying out political espionage against Donald Trump. The fate of these investigations is still unclear. Actions against former presidents, especially for conduct in office, have been exceedingly rare, with the exception of President Trump. And the courts have pushed back on the Trump administration's recent efforts to indict other Obama-era figures, including Comey. Nevertheless, a real clear investigations look at the evidence Trump administration prosecutors are presenting to the grand jury, which includes a raft of recently declassified CIA and FBI documents. Shows Obama's deep involvement in both protecting Clinton and advancing the conspiracy theory that Trump conspired with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Drawing from thousands of pages of documents and exclusive interviews with law enforcement and intelligence officials, RCI's analysis shows the former president was repeatedly at the center of events surrounding both the closing of the Clinton investigation and the subsequent opening of several investigations targeting the Trump campaign. Post-election, Obama also ordered the manufacturing of anti-Trump intelligence, which set Trump's presidency up for continued investigations. So hopefully we find out what's going on with that. We've also got Chairman Loudermilk trying to do something about the January 6th. This is the subcommittee on January 6th. And he wants to know if Brian Cole's phone number was among the 186 numbers of interest the FBI identified for that 2021, the day of infamy. The criteria for assigning numbers to the exclusion list if they identified the Google user who searched pipe bomb DC after the DC bombs had been placed near the RNC and DNC on January 5th, 2021, but before they were discovered on January 6th, and much more. That would be interesting. I don't know if all 186 of these people did actually search DC pipe bomb prior to that even being common knowledge, and every single person that searched DC pipe bomb should be investigated or should have been investigated. So they want to see that list. See if this dude was even on the watchers list, if you will. Now, again, that's the dude, Brian Cole's the guy that they're claiming put the pipe bombs where they were. I think he was definitely involved in something more nefarious. He definitely had some tie-ins to people that could very easily have helped navigate those waters for him, whatever the case is. House GOP is preparing for court showdown to unravel why Ilhan Omar's net worth skyrocketed up to $30 million. Hopefully they can get to the bottom of it. Yeah, she's another one that just disgusts me in every way, shape, or form. Yeah, the devil's, what is this? Somebody's going to find out. Yeah, F around and find out, that's for sure. Oh, is this their winery? Very little known about the two company financial firm Rose Lake Capital and the winery at St. Croix. Wow. Yeah, that looks pretty pretty nefarious. Wow. They are the devil. That would make sense. Federal judge, he has dismissed a lawsuit filed by the U.S. Department of Justice against Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger that sought access to the state's complete electronic voter registration list. Long story short, they apparently filed it in the wrong district, so they're saying that they don't have jurisdiction to file. They lack jurisdiction, so all they got to do is refile in the proper jurisdiction. It begs the question, why wasn't this filed properly to begin with? Is this just some shenanigan to try to slow it down? I don't know. It could be both. But again, yeah, the judge is like, basically, you can't file on this jurisdiction again. They closed it. What is it? When you can't re-see the case. I'm drawing a blank on the stupid legal name. You guys know it. But yeah, banned jurisdiction. Dismissed without prejudice. That's the one right there. Without prejudice. So apparently they can't re-see it, but they will. So they'll just do it in a different jurisdiction. That's how that'll work. Again, I love this company. This is OTFSpecial.com. It's Feel Great or Unicity. It is an amazing product. It's helping people get through this insulin resistance problem. If you've got an overweight issue, if you've got any sort of diabetes stuff, pre, post, anything in between, this is for you. This is awesome product. These little things are delicious. First off, I love the lemon. For me, it's delicious. It tastes, that's all it is. Just a little packet, right? You tear off the top, right? Just tear it off, pour it in water, mix it up real good. And to me, it tastes like iced tea lemonade, or lemon iced tea, essentially. It's delicious. It's literally delicious. I enjoy drinking it. You drink 2 of these, you drink 1 of the Balance. Balance has fiber. All of these things have some science in it. This just helps you fast a little bit longer, helps you keep your blood sugar a little lower, gives you energy. It's actually got quite a good boost of energy. And again, did I mention it's delicious? But what it's doing is it's helping us deal with carbohydrates properly in our bodies. A lot of this insulin resistance is because we constantly spike because of the snacking, the overeating, all the weird chemicals. And because of that, our body's not properly doing insulin like it should. So we're not properly really breaking down the carbohydrates like we should. And thusly, a lot of it's ending up in our blood supply, ending up as fat, ending up as a number of problems. This product, again, simple. Mix it in water, drink 3 times a day. Don't change anything else. And you will notice you'll start losing weight at a good gradual pace. You'll have better energy. You'll have fewer snacking episodes. You'll actually start to notice other things in your health starting to improve. And as you continue on it, weight goes down, your A1C numbers go down, your blood sugar levels go down, and your health goes up. This product's incredible. OTFspecial.com. It's OTFspecial.com. We're going to play this. I haven't played this one in a little while. We're going to remind you guys of what unicity is. Check it out.
If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple 2-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds, just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
God, that lady eating pickles every time. Every time. Where is it? Right here. Oh, it looks so good. I love pickles, especially gherkins. And not necessarily sweet pickles. I love those the little gherkins or whatever they call it. Gherkins. Oh my God, love them damn things. I think it's the vinegar. I think my body craves vinegar every once in a while. It's a good. It's like getting food that's. Was it like when we went to Korean barbecue last night, right? And the kimchi, like when you have foods that are done like that, it's actually good probiotic stuff for the body, right? So I think sometimes some of that vinegar stuff is your body just craving to get certain nasty things out of your body, right? Like get some of this in it. We need vinegar stat. Yeah. So suddenly you got cravings and you're eating something weird that you wouldn't normally eat. You're like, oh my God, this is delicious. I don't know what it is. All said, OTFspecial.com. Fix your insulin resistance. It's amazing. The product is fantastic. It tastes great. And you don't have to do anything else. Keep doing what you're doing. Now, you will hopefully start exercising more as you start losing weight and it becomes less painful. You'll start seeing your A1C numbers come down, so you'll likely have your doctor, and this has happened, a number of people, have their doctors lower their prescriptions or take them off insulin altogether. How much are you spending on insulin? That goes away. So think about a small investment, and it's not expensive, but a small investment into something that requires just putting it in water every day. That's it. That's all I got to do. Yes. Yeah, the balanced one, you drink it right before you eat dinner. It's got some fiber in it. It's got some science in it, but the fiber kind of helps fill you up a little bit, so you're going to probably eat a little bit less. It also helps you process carbohydrates a little better and a little differently. OTFspecial.com. OTFspecial.com. You got to check out this product. You will be amazed. It is so good, and you'll feel great. That's why they call it that. You will truly feel great. It's fantastic. All right, I was talking about how the House passed their $839 million defense bill. They passed a whole bunch of stuff, frankly. They got everything passed through. And it passed with bilateral support, right? By both sides kind of passed. 341 to 88. So cross-party lines. There's a bunch of pork in it. There's a bunch of extra bullshit in it. There's a bunch of stuff in it that maybe shouldn't be. I'm not going to get all hung up on it, and a lot of people are going to try to make noise about it. I think this was ultimately about getting this across the finish line. I don't think it matters that much in the big picture because of what's going to happen. Trump knows what's going to happen. The Fed's going to be dropped. Any of this budgetary crap that's happening for the corporate America is probably going to be like it won't matter. There's no way we're ever going to pay $38 trillion back, especially to a private organization. That ain't happening. So Trump is talking a lot of talk, and he does that because he's got to face the public. He's facing the world. But it's not necessarily what he's planning on doing. In fact, what he's planning on doing is most likely not what he's talking about. What he's talking about is really misleading people intentionally. So be mindful. We are very close to shit hitting the fan. Again, drslikesgold.com. Not trying to necessarily plug, but we are super close to things happening that it's going to get interesting. That's all I can say. Department of War, they put this out. Directed energy weapons. Yes, the Department of War has directed energy weapons. Yes, we are scaling them. He's trying to scare the world. What is interesting, defense industry is a little flummoxed it's probably the better way to say it, by Trump's executive order on the profits. He's pissed off at how much the CEOs are making and how they're not really spending the profits on enhancing manufacturing so they can create like an additional line, if you will. He's like, we need weapons. And you're too busy paying CEOs insane amounts of money rather than building some damn buildings and making stuff and hiring people. Get on it. And they're like, we're not sure if this executive order you did is legal or not, or what to do. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, man. The deep state. And again, they exist on both sides. Graham is part of it. He's part of the Eisenhower industrial military complex, they used to call it, right? Their industrial military complex is a better way to say it. We just used to say Eisenhower because he warned us about it. So there's the industrial military complex. That part, so there used to be like basically three groups. There was the World Economic Forum type people that wanted to kill everybody, enslave us, leave very few people left that were going to be slaves, right? Then there was the industrial military complex that ultimately just, wars and making military stuff, and, people are going to die through that process, and that ultimately both those sides were kind of working for the deep state. Then there was the side of humanity. Needless to say, the industrial military complex kind of joined humanity, but yet still has some deep state tendencies from time to time. I think Trump is dealing with a lot of that. Obviously, the other side of the deep state is coming down. That is the worst of the worst. The industrial military complex needs to be used, especially for where we're heading, the space stuff that's coming. Some of the numbers I've heard, and they fit, 27, 28 in that vicinity years-wise, 2027, 2028. Strong chance that we're going to have a whole new understanding of the concept of visitors. I think the concept of the Elohim and the Anunnaki and stuff along those lines are probably going to make a whole lot of sense to us within a few years. I also think we've got problems with the Earth's magnetic field. I've had some people asking questions about weather and whatnot. And again, if they're not using weather warfare still, then okay. Because they could be. The other side of it is our magnetic field's weakening. That hugely affects weather. It just does. You don't have to believe it. You can believe it. It just is. The magnetic field's weakening. The poles are shifting and moving. Something's happening. And many say, well, it takes hundreds of years. Yeah, this started back in 1850. So we're, almost about 200 years into it. So you're right. And we're at the end of that cycle is what's up. And we've noticed and have seen in the past, it seems to progress, and then move very quickly once it gets close. And literally, a lot of things can happen in days versus years. So we're heading into some crazy times. Be prepared as best you can. But ultimately, it's a spiritual thing, and we're all going to evolve, or many of us won't make it through this. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Not many of us, maybe, but many of us in the larger royal capital U.S. Trump says U.S. companies are going to start drilling Venezuelan oil very soon. We'll see. I think that's the plan, obviously, but we'll see. In Davos, this is pretty cool. The climate hoax thing, I don't know if you heard this or not, but this is important because this needs to go bye-bye. And, of course, the World Health Organization, California is joining, but I don't think they can join the climate organization. Thank God. All that said, we're going to speed this up a teeny bit. And that being the case, here's Donald Trump.
Because of my landslide election victory, the United States avoided the catastrophic energy collapse which befell every European nation that pursued the Green New Scam, perhaps the greatest hoax in history. The Green New Scam, windmills all over the place, destroy your land. Every time that goes around, you lose $1,000. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money. Here in Europe, we've seen the fate that the radical left tried to impose on America. They tried very hard. Germany now generates 22% less electricity than it did in 2017. And it's not the current chancellor's fault. He's solving the problem. He's going to do a great job. But what they did before he got there, I guess that's why he got there. And electricity prices are 64% higher. The United Kingdom produces just 1/3 of the total energy from all sources that it did in 1999. Think of that, 1/3. And they're sitting on top of the North Sea, one of the greatest reserves anywhere in the world, but they don't use it. And that's one reason why their energy has reached catastrophically low levels with equally high prices. High prices, very low levels. Think of that, 1/3. And you're sitting on top of the North Sea. And they like to say, well, that's depleted. It's not depleted. It's got 500 years. They haven't even found the oil. The North Sea is incredible. They don't let anybody drill. Environmentally, they don't let them drill. They make it impossible for the oil companies to go. They take 92% of the revenues. So the oil companies say, we can't do it. They came to see me. Is there anything you can do? I want Europe to do great. I want UK to do great. They're sitting on one of the greatest energy sources in the world, and they don't use it. In fact, their electricity prices have soared 139%. There are windmills all over Europe. There are windmills all over the place, and they are losers. One thing I've noticed is that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses, and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills, and yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China. Did you ever think of that? It's a good way of looking at it. They're smart. China's very smart. They make them, they sell them for a fortune. They sell them to the stupid people that buy them, but they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people what they could look like. They don't spin. They don't do anything. They use a thing called coal, mostly. But China goes with the coal. They go with oil and gas. They're starting to look at nuclear a little bit, and they're doing just fine.
Yeah, it's a trip how he says it that way, because a lot of the research or suggestions out there is like China's building 30 nuclear plants right now. And again, I trust Trump a lot more than I trust a lot of the info that's being presented to us. A lot of the stuff I see being presented to us, especially, God, it pains me to say it, but especially stuff from Zero Hedge, is very pro-China and meant to make China look good. And so, we'll see. Now, Donald Trump truthed this out. Governor Carney's making deals with China, and Trump's like, yeah, no, this ain't happening. So he says if Governor Carney thinks he is going to make Canada a drop-off point for China to send goods and products into the United States, he is sorely mistaken. China will eat Canada alive, completely devour it, including the destruction of their businesses, social fabric, and general way of life. If Canada makes a deal with China, it will immediately be hit with a 100% tariff against all Canadian goods and products coming into the USA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Canada's trying desperately to be deep state, and Trump's not going to let them. And Canada, the Canadians, the good Canucks that we've got out there, and had a lovely gentleman on my show. We did the last In the Mix show yesterday, and it was very cool. You guys should check it out. We actually had everybody show up for once. It was freaking nice. It was actually what I always envisioned the show to be. Finally, it only took me 29 episodes to finally get the show I always dreamed we'd have. It's funny how it's the last one I do, right? Oh, well, it's the way it works. It's funny how you don't know what you got until it's gone. That's the beauty of it all, I guess. But that said, we've got Canada trying to be tough. And I think it was Rob, gentleman, good guy. But he's talking about, he's actually in Alberta, where there's literally a 50-50 chance Alberta might become the 51st state of the United States. They're worried that they're going to end up being like a Puerto Rico. I don't think they would be. I think they'd end up literally being a state, not a territory, would be my guess. We'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. I don't believe we would do Canada like that. I think we actually love you guys. And I don't mean like we don't love Puerto Rico, but for some reason, we've never been close to Puerto Rico. Canada, we've always been close to you guys. Always. I mean, that's just, you're like our brothers, like, Puerto Rico's this island, out in the middle of nowhere, basically. I mean, it's not, but. In humiliating retreat, Starmer is forced to pull the Chagos bill. So Chagos is Diego Garcia, is what we know it as. It's the Chagos Islands, is what the Mauritians call it, or whatever the fuck their names are. We call it Diego Garcia. It's a significant military base, very significant military base. It's basically like southwest of India, and it's just the perfect place. So they were going to give this back. The Mauritians, or whatever their names are basically controlled by China. So this would just be insane. So it would be like us giving one more thing to China. And Trump's like, no. So he went hardcore on England with regards to this. And England, I don't want to say caved, but they did. There you go. This Ukraine stuff, this war's got to stop, frankly, and I think it's going to, and I think they're losing support from everybody. Zelensky is definitely being segregated out to be sacrificed as either a former leader or somebody that flees for his life or somebody that his own people arrest and put in jail, assuming he actually ever sets foot in his own country. I don't believe he does, from what we understand. The EU must stop funding Kiev after Zelensky's insults, says the Italian prime minister. Zelensky was a little harsh on the EU, and they don't like that. So they're like done. He says that they need to know how to defend itself, is what the EU says. All right, Ukraine, you probably need to learn how to defend yourself. How do you feel about that, fuckface? Zelensky must pay for blowing up Nord Stream, the AfD leader is saying. Now, the AfD party is ultimately going to take control of Germany. They are the conservative party. They're the kind of MAGA, make Germany great again. Maybe that's a German word. Somehow they can pronounce it. I can't. But MGGA, make Germany great again. AfD's, so we'll see what happens. Germany, I think, as a country, has got some karma, so we'll see. Hopefully, you guys can make some changes without sacrificing too much. Russia attacks Ukraine ahead of a second day of peace talks. No peace coming yet. It's all about the territory, and so long as Ukraine insists that they get part of the territory that Russia's already taken, which is that eastern section, I don't know if it's the Odessa region or, Zaporozhye region. It's one of those over there regions that they're worried about. And Ukraine's deal, and probably even the deal that Trump was trying to perform, is like, the lines would stop where they're at right now. And Russia's like, our lines aren't quite where we want them. So, no thanks. We'll just keep fighting. And there's nothing anyone can do. We could keep pumping weapons into it, and we're not going to. So, I think a lot of this is really to bring Zelensky to the table, is what's, I think, really happening. Watch it play out and let it occur, but the Ukrainian people are suffering badly at Zelensky's hands and the Europe's hands. Europe does not care at all. They care about trying to hurt Russia. They don't care about how many Ukrainians die in the process. They don't care. Ukrainian UAV kills Russian paramedics. Literally blew up paramedics. Like, they don't have the video. I guess that's cool. Thank God. They literally blew up an ambulance. That's levels of fucked up that, wow. Okay. Shoot, that's how you're going to roll. And finally, and we don't know exactly what's going on, but we've been suspicious of what Xi in China has been doing. And the rumors that are impossible to verify in any way, shape, or form. In fact, they would say there's zero evidence, really, outwardly facing anyways, that this is happening. Because the Communist Chinese Party controls any sort of discussions that happen within China and what leaves China, frankly. And a dear friend of mine, adore her, she's lovely, and we just had another chit chat. And really the trick in China, and this bums me out a little bit in regards to her, because this is why we could never be super, super close, because I feel like I'd get her in trouble. You're not allowed to criticize the Communist Chinese Party. And really, as long as you don't do that, like she was even telling me about Christian churches, because she's Buddhist, but there's even the Christian churches there. And I'm like, I thought China shut them down. And she's like, as long as they don't criticize the government, China doesn't care. And I'm like, okay. So that's kind of the reality of there. Don't criticize the government. You'll be fine. Outside of that, you can say kind of whatever you want. You can kind of do whatever you want. But if you're someone that's vocal against the government, now I'm not saying I agree with that. Don't mistake me providing facts with my opinion. I speak poorly of the Communist Chinese Party all the time. Which, again, it goes back to my problem. I will never be able to travel. I won't be able to travel to this country so long as it's a communist country. Ever. I'd never feel comfortable going there. And I'd love to go to China. It's a beautiful country with so much history. I'd love to go to China. One day I will, hopefully. I look forward to the day when the communists in this world are no more. President Xi fired one of the major generals of the Communist Chinese Party, one of his closest allies. He's been fired. A lot of people are wondering what this means. This is a strange purge, and it does seem like they're making it out like they're getting rid of the people. And again, this is zero hedge. They're pro-China. They're pro-Communist Party. They like it or not, don't like it or not, it doesn't matter. It's what they are. I think This is the Communist Chinese Party trying to make it sound like Xi is getting rid of bad Communist Party people. When in the reality, I think this is literally the Communist Party being destroyed, dismantled. The people of power in the Communist Party being removed. This isn't good for the Communist Party, is what my guess is. Now, this article doesn't paint the picture that way. Again, I don't trust Zero Hedge when it comes to China and the U.S. at all. I don't trust them at all when it comes to those things. They, statistically, are on the wrong side of the fence. We'll see what happens. A lot of things to keep tabs on, a lot of things to keep control or pay attention to. And I was trying to do a much shorter show. I literally thought this would be under an hour. I don't think I wasted that much time. Damn it, it's an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, well, whatever. We got a lot happening, a lot in the world, and a lot is changing. I love you guys. We're going to keep talking about it. It's going to be a very interesting week. Keep Minnesota in your prayers and all the people that are going through the horrific weather that's happening right now. We've got some crazy shit going on. Be careful, guys. I love you. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.